this is, as you said in the introduction, this is the first mainstream travel guidebook for this country that is acknowledging the amazing Muslim heritage that we have right here in Britain. And I think that's something to really celebrate. And of course, it being World Tourism Day, what better day to celebrate it?
No, absolutely. I mean, you said it's important. Why is it important, if you just let our viewers know?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons why it's important. Firstly, I don't think history and heritage like this should remain hidden. Secondly, Lonely Planet is one of the biggest publishers in the world when it comes to travel guidebooks. So what we're doing here is, in acknowledging this history in this way, we're taking it from the margins. We're moving it away from just areas where people like me who are specialists and nerdy about this kind of heritage are really interested in it, and bringing it to the mainstream. We're basically saying anybody and everybody should access this history and should know the fuller, more comprehensive narrative of Britain's cultural history. I wanted to obviously entice people, and that's why we went with the hidden aspect of it. It's not hidden at all. It's been lying in plain sight. It's just clearly been marginalised for whatever reason. And we can go into a bit of that later. But the way the section works is we have several pages which are practical, and they take readers and the users of the book to 3 different locations in particular. Woking, where we have the country's first purpose-built mosque, and also the country's very first Muslim cemetery, as well as a Muslim soldiers' cemetery. All of which, as I say in the book, are not just the very first in the UK, but the very first in northwestern Europe. And then we take readers to Liverpool, where, of course, many of the people who have been listening to some recent guests on here will know that it was where the very first mosque, a house mosque, was founded by Abdullah Quilliam, who goes on to become the country's very first Sheikh al-Islam, the Grand Mufti of Britain, if you like. So there's all that heritage there. And then the third spot that we take readers to through the guidebook is to Brighton, where a pioneer known as Sheikh Din Mohammed, a Bengali like myself, who in the 18th century comes over and does amazing things, as well as becoming the kind of royal shampooist to the king. And then we have the Brighton Pavilion there as well, where Muslim soldiers and as well as Hindu and Sikh soldiers were treated during the world wars. So all of this we put into a practical guide, and it's accompanied by the essay, which helps the readers contextualize all the history. And we start that essay all the way back, as you said at the beginning, in the 8th century, when, of course, one of England's very first kings, an Anglo-Saxon king known as Offa of Mercia, goes and mints a gold coin with the actual Shahada on it.
Wow. There's a lot, and these places, of course, we can all visit, right? And I think it plays a huge part in terms of Great Britain, and like you said, it's not hidden, but, not everyone's aware about it.
I've also done another piece called An Other London, and that's deliberately 2 words there. It's to focus on the fact that there are all these cultures and all these spaces in London that are occupied by people from the other cultures, as we say, be it the Turkish culture, be it the Bangladeshi community. And what I've really tried to do there is focus on institutes that these communities have established, and art centres and cultural spaces, so that visitors to London don't just go to the British Museum, don't just go to the National Portrait Gallery. They also go to these spaces. And the aim is to really put them alongside each other. It's not a case of one or the other. We're saying it's all part of the picture.